Daganan kilo betening kom lo moham di petamaso sanalom huasa benge kaputo
State Affairs.
State Affairs with Edmond Omeo. Why is it so hard for Nigeria to produce women governors? Why? If you checked the Vanguard newspaper, you will find this headline: ADC accuses federal government of using police to intimidate El-Rufai, silence opposition. With stories like this, you begin to ask if politics has come to redeem. If you looked deeper, you will find this headline in the Vanguard newspaper. It reads, "We won't allow APC to rig 2027 polls." Rigging, a lexicon in Nigeria's political diary. Nigeria's politics fraught with betrayals. That is Jonathan speaking. Perhaps Jonathan needs to study human behavior and understand that what he calls betrayal is the struggle for who gets what and how. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmondo Pillow. Good morning and welcome. I asked a question: why is it so hard for Nigeria to produce women governors? Bolanle Sarumi Aliyu, known as Bassa, now contesting for governor for your state under the African Democratic Congress ADC, is no newcomer to politics. In 2019, she ran on the platform of the National Interest Party. Her ambition is bold, but not new. Several Nigerian women have sought governorship before her, and all failed. Why? As you think about that question, let me remind you of one of the stories of the day. It is the Orkar Coup. But this story looks at the specifics. Breaking into the armoury, activity at the checkpoint, and how a soldier found himself in the front line. As we look into the past, we use contemporary politics of today as effect of actions of the past. The Orkar Coup is the action of the past. What did that coup do to Nigeria's politics, military politics? And how did that coup shape the politics of today? How did that coup shape the character of today? You will help me unravel these issues as we put the details on the table. 2 case studies. Bolanle Sarumi, Jack Adokiye. Who is Jack Adokiye? On the 9th of April 2022, 1990, Lagos did not sleep. What happened? Gunfire tore through the dark, and marching boots of soldiers thundered across the city. It was like war. It was the day Nigeria came face to face with one of its bloodiest coup attempts, the Orkar Coup. Remember the date? 22nd April 1990. But behind the headlines and history books, there are faces, there are voices, and there are men who swept through the chaos. One of them was Jack Adokiye, a military policeman. You know, the military has its own police. Jack Adokiye was a military policeman. How do you recognize a military policeman? They are soldiers. But in this case, they are the police in the soldier, in the army rather. So if an army commits an offense, it is the military police that arrest that soldier. So Jack Adokiye was of the military police. And you recognize them by their red beret. They wear red beret. So behind the headlines, there are faces, there are voices, and there are men who swept into that chaos. Jack Adokiye is one of them. He believed he was following orders. He believed he was obeying the voice of authority, carrying out legitimate mission. But that night, obedience became rebellion. Along with others, he disarmed police officers at checkpoints. They stormed the armoury of my 2 barracks. He played a role in a script larger than himself, a script he did not write, but a script in which his gun became a prop. A young soldier was called. He did not know where the road would end, but he followed the voice of duty. His steps reminds us, when leaders call, followers must ask, is this the road that builds the nation or the road that breaks it? The story of Jack Adokiye on State Affairs. Chief Jack Adokiye.
Yes.
It's good to have you on State Affairs.
Thank you very much.
You are an old soldier.
Yes.
You participated in the 22nd of April 1999 coup.
Yes, I participated, but I was deceived by Captain Emperor.
You were deceived.
I was deceived.
How did it happen?
Because I was not involved from the initial stage. It was at 11th hour, Saturday, 21st April 1990, that Captain Emperor came to my residence at Barracks to deceive me and say he's inviting me for a party, not knowing that it was a coup. So when I went with him to the office at Arakan's Barracks, military police headquarters. He now opened his boot. There was 2 Ghana must go back, full of money. The highest denomination, 20 naira, as at that time. He now was telling me, do I know how this money come about? I said, I don't know. He said, this is our state money, from River State, our oil money. I laughed.
Our money.
Our oil money.
He was from River State.
Yes, as at that time.
You are from River State.
Yeah. So he says, our oil money. I laughed. I said, wow. He now gave me one bunch, which is 2,000, that I should take for my weekend. After that, he gave me 1,000 to go and fetch one of my colleagues, Gillespie Smart, at Ojo Cantonment.
To come for the party.
To come for the party. Now, before I could set up, Carlo, who slept in my house, also a military police personnel, now was hastening me up for us to go to Ojo to fetch Gillespie, to go to Ikeja to meet Captain Emperor.
He was interested in the party too?
Yes, very much interested.
Who is this Kalu man?
Kano is from Imo State, but he was newly posted to military police. Newly posted.
And he slept with you night?
Yes, he slept in my place that night.
Why did he sleep in your place that night?
He has not been given accommodation. He has been sleeping outside the barracks sometimes with some of his language men, his tribe men. So that night, he came to my house. I didn't know that he had been in romance with Captain Emperor for the past 2 weeks. And he has been giving him some money, buying him some things, buying him wristwatch. But he did not even disclose to him that it was cool also, because that kind of would have told me. So now, before we even set out to Ikeja, my knees and my waist, as if it was chiseled. I couldn't stand up well. I said, what? And I went, say, let me take my bath. I could not stand up to take my bath. I didn't know that God was trying to stop me from involving in that coup.
But you didn't listen to your body?
No, I didn't understand the body language as at that time. So what happened now? After I took my bath, the vehicle I chartered to Ojo Cantonment had accident twice.
The signs were there.
The signs were there.
You could not read the signs.
No, I couldn't. So, on getting to Ojo, as I came out from the vehicle, entered Ojo Cantonment after settling the taxi, a girl in my office from Bender State,
now Edo and Delta State,
saw me and said, Oga, you came to this cantonment. Today you will not go. You are going to pass the night with me. I was surprised. A girl had never one day chased or talked to. I was surprised. She took me to her house. I sat down. She said, no, come to the bedroom. She opened the fridge that I should wipe myself with anything that, any of the brand. Let her prepare food so that we'll eat. That I'm not going anywhere. I was surprised. All these things were signs that God wanted to make sure that I did not go for that party that now turned to Orkar Coup.
So did you stay with the girl for the night?
No, I tried to beg her that Captain Emperor sent me a message that I've not even seen the person that he sent me to deliver the message that I should bring him to Ikeja. I've not seen a smart. So I cannot just stop here. Let me see the person that they sent me to and message him that he's wanted at Ikeja by Emperor. And now, what I did now, I now gave her 20 naira as a bribe to let me go.
From the mint money you were given?
Yes, to let me go.
When that money was given to you, was it big money at that time?
It was a big money. It's more than even my 6 months salary.
Wow. So, you left the girl.
I left the girl. And I met Gillespie Smart, the person that I was sent to fetch to Ikeja. His wife went to market. She's from Ghana. They had 2 kids. He has to drop the 2 kids with the neighbor. We now proceed, myself and himself, with Carlo to Ikeja.
Were you wearing military uniform?
No. I was on brocade, white. We get to Ikeja. We saw Captain Emperor. In his residence, there was a kind of party going on. People were drinking pepper soup, these different faces. Some people who I know, that people I don't even know. Some were even greeting me, Gajak, you are here, you came, this and that. I say, yes. So we greeted. So he said we should take something. I went to the fridge and collected a white horse. He said, no, that one will break you down. No, don't take that. Just take 1 bottle of beer first. After now, we'll take that one. Then that we are mufti, that this is not a mufti party, it's a uniform party. That Gillespie should go and drop me at Apapa. Let me wear my uniform. And I told him, I said, Oga, I can't wear uniform now. There is a memo by the Provost Marshal, Brigadier General Morege, that if you are not on duty, you shouldn't be on uniform on weekends. He said, no, am I not one of the staff officers at the directorate that sat down with the Provost Marshal to enact this law? I said, no, but you are not the one that signed it. He said, no, but I should obey him and go and get my uniform. There is a uniform party. Reluctantly, I accepted, and Gillespie went and dropped me at Apapa. I only wore my t-shirt, 1 t-shirt and 1 jeans with canvas. I didn't even wear the uniform. And I put my uniform and my boots, my belt and my cap in my kit, one of the kit bags, military kit bag that they issued to me. Then we proceeded back to Ojo, so that Gillespie also will get his uniform, so that we'll now proceed back to Ikeja to meet Emperor. But on our way going, I said, no, let me see my sister. She lives at Ajegule. I gave her some money. Then we took through Krikri. We bus out at Navy Town, then to Ojo. On our way going, we met Emperor with some officers again inside the Ojo cantonment. He said, we are delaying this and that. He collected the car from Gillespie. I was with him, with this other boy, Kanu. The next thing is gave money to Gillespie to go and to pay transport and come and meet us at Ikeja. Should go and wear a uniform and meet us up. Gillespie went and wear his uniform and meet us up at Ikeja.
So he now drove the car?
He now drove the car. But before we left the Ojo cantonment, he visited one or 2 places. He spoke with some officers.
Who owned the car?
It's his car, Passat.
Okay.
It's his own car.
So he had given it to Smart to take you?
Yes, but on getting back for Smart to collect his own, he saw us in the cantonment. And now took back the car from Smart. So all of us now went back to Ikeja. At Ikeja, I met one sergeant. He was on duty at our directorate, SIB, Special Investigation Bureau. Sergeant Adokier. He was on duty on that day. But that day, as we went to the office, he also invited him for party. The guy who is on duty left his duty post with uniform to attend the party, not knowing that it was a coup.
Interesting. Is that how military men operate?
Well, military men operate in the sense that a senior officer is influential to the junior ones. The junior ones, they so much obey the senior officers.
So when you are given order, you obey order.
You obey order.
Whether order is right or wrong?
It depends on individual reasoning. Because by right, as he's on duty, he's not supposed to leave his duty post to a party. But that guy, I know that he's leaving his duty post. He's not just leaving his duty post because he's an investigator. His coming was to spy and know exactly what is fishing. You understand me? He did not just leave the duty. His coming there was to come and spy, get information.
Interesting.
But unknown to him, once the coup has been announced, nobody is allowed to step an inch.
Daganan kilo betening kom no moham. Di beta maso sanalom. Huasa benge kaputo.
State Affairs.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
And for those people in Africa and elsewhere who look on Rawlings and his acolytes as being revolutionaries, I think they are misguided. If they lived in the country and they knew the conditions under which the general populace lived, I don't think they would be making that assertion. And indeed, when the National Reconciliation Commission, which was formed by President John Kufuor when he took over from Rawlings in 2000, when he set up that National Reconciliation to investigate human rights abuses in the country, the report stated in one of the chapters that the 112 days that the AFRC, the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council, led by Jerry Rawlings, the 112 days they ruled the country was a period when life was solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. And that is in only 112 days. And there was a murderous rampage and sheer terror, the like of which has never been seen before.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
You want to be governor come 2027.
By God's grace.
Bolanle Sarumi.
Ọmọ di kaka di kuku, bẹ́ẹ̀ ló di kaka lójú ogun, ọmọ òkè bàbá òkúta. We will be the governor in 2027.
You're so sure.
Very sure. The same way I was sure as well then. But God said it wasn't time.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
It doesn't matter how far my eye goes. I can see that you are here in your millions. And my last warning to you is that you ought to stand firm behind us so that we can prove to the world that when the African is given a chance, he can show to the world that he's somebody. We are not waiting. We shall no more go back to sleep anymore. Today, from now on, there is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. We are going to demonstrate to the world, to the other nations, young as we are, that we are prepared to lay our own foundation. As I said in the assembly just minutes ago, I made a point that we are going to see that we create our own African personality and identity. It's the only way in which we can show the world that we are ready for our own battle. We have done the battle, and we again rededicate ourselves not only in the struggle to emancipate other territories in Africa. Our independence is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
It is the story of a soldier that participated in the Orkar Coup. As we look at that story, we also reflect on contemporary politics and see how the past is defining today, and we should be able to examine the effect of the past on the future. Battle to unseat Tinubu and national consensus, not a northern conspiracy. Tambuwal is speaking, a former governor of Sokoto State. He is a senator. ABGA unveils 489-member campaign council for Soludo. Why are we back Atiku, not Wike, for national leadership? Tambuwal speaks. ADC accuses federal government of using police to intimidate El-Rufai and silence opposition. Revenue targets mean nothing without impact on people's lives. Peter Obi speaks to Tinubu. PDP presidential ticket, why I oppose zoning, or Lawekbo Hashim. You'll find these headlines in the Vanguard. Benue Assembly, intrigues, plot that ousted Speaker Dajo. 2027, nothing can stop Tinubu's re-election. Jibrin speaks. 2027, I am not in any coalition against Tinubu's re-election. Hadi Sirika, you remember him? Minister of Aviation in the government of Muhammadu Buhari. National Convention, PDP draws battle line with Wike's camp. Interesting times. In understanding the coup, the Gideon Orkar Coup, let's read from the book entitled Exploitation and Instability in Nigeria. The Orkar Coup in Perspective. Exploitation and Instability in Nigeria. The Orkar Coup in Perspective. I want to read from page 142. It's a book written by Sowaribi Tolufari. Tolufari is one of the planners of the Gideon Orkar coup. You can see Jack in that interview keeps mentioning Tulufari, Mukuru, Captain Emperor, Tony Inyam. So Tulufari wrote a book. He survived. He escaped after the coup. He says on page 142 of his book, their real fear was nothing to do with the toppling of Babangida's junta. What they dreaded was the revolution that our purge of April 22, 1990 portended. The deep worries of the elite was that the revolution did not promise a mere change of faces and names. It was unlike the coup that installed Gowon. It was unlike the one that brought Murtala to power. Our coup sounded different from the one that put Buhari at the helm, and it was dissimilar to the coup that made Babangida president. All these coups were planned and executed by top military officers, and the resultant government were only the colleagues of those they ousted. I'm reading from the book Exploitation and Instability in Nigeria, the Orkar Coup in Perspective. This is the book I'm reading from. If you look at page 143, Tulufari continues. He says, they continued to work hand in gloves with those they ousted and maintained the status quo ante of feasting government functionaries and starving Nigerian masses. Our revolution, however, had a lot in common with the acclaimed after-the-fact revolution of Major Chukwuma Nzogu and his comrades. I want you to take note of that point. Tulufari says, our revolution, however, had a lot in common with the acclaimed revolution of Major Chukwuma Nzogu and his comrades, after whose strike nothing was the same again in Nigeria. Now, look at this. Because Nigeria did not learn from the January 15th coup of 1966, the Nzogu coup, it now repeated itself in 1990. Are you with me? Nigeria did not learn from the 1966 coup, the January 1966 coup, and it repeated itself in 1990. That's the point one of the planners of the coup is making in his book. He says, both coups gave in their mission statement indications that they would overturn the apple cart. Nzogu had said, our enemies are the political profiteers, the swindlers, the men in high and low places that seek bribes and demand 10%. Orkar had announced on our behalf that, he quotes Orkar's speech, that those with skeletons in their cupboards have all reasons to fear because the time of reckoning has come. We are extremely determined to recover all ill-gotten wealth back to the public treasury for the use of the masses. Tulufari has just quoted the Gideon Orkar speech in his book. So he says, the image this immediately conjured up in the minds of the elite and the bourgeoisies was that of Flight Lieutenant Jerry Rawlings lining up several former generals and heads of state of Ghana and executing them if they refused to sign up their illegally amassed wealth to the state of Ghana. And he also reminded Nigeria's elite of a Captain Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, affecting all the young people in West Africa with his youth and straightforwardness and his vision. It was no wonder and by no means no more coincidence that, as in Nzogu's case, the reactionaries in the military, mainly our own people, in their morbid fear of the might of the North, mobilized against us, and the rest of them in Mufti came out calling for our heads. I just read from the book Exploitation and Instability in Nigeria, the Orkar Coup in Perspective, written by one of the planners of the coup, Suwaribi Tulufari. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station.
Here we go!
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Here you
My name is Olawale Abdulmajid Mogmonjubola. I'm the Honorable Commissioner for Public Works and Transport Oyo State. We're actually at the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, the UTEC end of the Circular Road. And we're actually beginning the narrative of what this is all about. It's one of the most, privileged projects that His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde has embarked on, and this is bringing a huge development to the people of Oyo State. What do I mean by that? I'm saying if you're going towards Lagos and you're coming to Ibadan, you're going up north, you're going to Ilesha, and you're going to other side of the southwest, you don't need to come directly into Ibadan city again. It's a bypass, it's an express road, it spans about 32 kilometers. And the project, at the first phase of it, lot 1, which is being handled by the crane board, the contractor, I'm saying this end, it's about 70% completed right now. We are going on a tour to the first phase of this project. It's about 4 sections of the project. We have the section 1, which spans from UTEC Express to Badeku Express. From that ends at the Ashedire end of the road. Thank you. Let's go on the journey. This is actually a world-class project. You can see the inscription on it is done by first-class contractor, Krenberg. And you can see the standard of the work done here is actually a world-class project. I mean, I can imagine this. Maybe you need to visit the city of Abuja and you see something like this. Is a world-class project and it's going to last a lifetime. I can bet you on that. The headroom here, from the finished level of the road to the tip of the overhead bridge, it's about 5.5 clearance way. Conveniently, trailers, heavy trucks can go right underneath down to Ibadan Lagos Expressway. What you're seeing here is actually the installation of a solar panel that powers the communication antennas around this zone, because I mean it's going to be a world-class communication section from this end. Security is key to His Excellency, and that is why this is going on here right now.
What is clear from what we are seeing here is a bridge that tells the story of development in Oyo State, and a solar project here that connects the bridge and the communication world. The poles are not just communication gadgets. At night, this place is brightened, welcoming you into the pace-setter state, telling you that as you come at night, you meet the light that shines into the future. Seyi Makinde makes the point that a project of this magnitude can be carried out by government of the people. The commissioner is taking us on a journey, and it's a journey into the future. Come with us.
95.5.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
You have written a book titled Balogun Odenilo in Yoruba History.
That's correct.
You are from the family of Odenilo.
Yes, please.
Is that what sparked that imagination to tell us the story?
No, not only because I'm a family member of Balogun Odenilo, but justice has not been served to this our great-great-grandfather, and I hate injustice in life. This was a man who delivered Yoruba from the incursions of the Fulanis. The Fulanis, they always had intention of conquering all the Yoruba land, and without Balogun Odenilo, they would have been ruling us the way they did in northern part of Nigeria. The Hausas were conquered. So when we now talk of Hausa Fulani, there's nothing like that. But because they were conquered by the Fulanis at that time, that's why the Fulani is now the Hema. Most of the places now you hear of Hema of Kano, you hear of Hema of Sokoto. They are Fulanis. They are Fulanis. They are not the original owner of the land. They try it in Yoruba land, but our forefathers, Balogun Odenilo, suppressed the insurrection of the Fulani at the Battle of Osogbo in 1840.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
So I stood on the mandate of the PDP and I supported the presidential candidate at the time.
And you supported Sheyi Makinde in the governorship?
No, I didn't bother. I stayed in my national level. I campaigned up and down and I just stayed away from his mission. I did not vote against him. I did not vote for APC. I did not vote for any other party, but I did not vote at all for governorship in 2023.
You did not vote at all?
No, I didn't. I was busy.
For a governor, you have said...
For a governor that disappointed his follower, or what will I call myself under him.
For a governor that wanted a level playing field for all the candidates?
No, you are missing the point. That wasn't level. It can never be level if you ignore the female affirmative action.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Years later, or decades later, Rawlings went somewhere to speak to students. Actually, I'm not sure were these students from Nigeria? I may be mistaken, but why do I think they were from Nigeria? Anyhow, he told them there was a general called Odafe Wellington, and he went around saying that I did this, that, and the other. So we sprayed him like mosquitoes. Can you imagine? If people knew who he really was, I don't think they'll be hailing him as a hero. Though I don't blame those outside Ghana because the news is filtered. But for those in Ghana, they have absolutely no excuse but cowardice and their own selfish interests prevent them from saying it exactly as it is.
Here we go.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Bolanle Sarumi Aliyu Basa is setting her sights on the 2027 Oyo State gubernatorial race. In 2019, she contested under the National Interest Party, NIP. Today, she stands under the banner of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, ready to test her political strength once more. The question lingers: will Basa make history as governor? By the way, when he lost the 2019 election, she found her way into Makinde's government. So what happened between them? Did they fall out? Why did Bolanle Sarumi not vote for Seyi Makinde in 2023? She tells her story.
And after the election, you had a meeting with the governor.
Yes.
Why? Why that meeting?
So I had two options. Now, I've lost my elections. God has chosen who he wants, and that's Governor Seyi Makinde at the time, because nothing happens behind God. God agrees to everything. He gives the power. So I decided, what do you want to do, Basa? Do you want to stay in this party, NIP, which INEC is going to deregister? Because they deregistered us. If you cannot win any seat anywhere, they will deregister you. And they deregistered over 80-something parties at that time. So I decided I'm going to join the PDP. Shebi, you say I have to be in a big party for me to be able to contest. That's what the people are saying. Oh yeah, I'm entering the big party. So we had the meeting and I told him, I said, Excellency, I will support you with good intentions for the people, which you tell us you have. However, I want you to also support me. Let me also either go for Senate or Rep. That will be in 2023. He said, Basa, go and relax yourself. I will support you. There are not enough women in politics.
Did he say that to you?
He promised me
that he
over
was going
and
to
over.
Support you.
He said, I will support you because there's a law, there's a 35% affirmative action. He's going to ensure that he has more women in his own cabinet, more women for elective positions. So we started the partnership.
So before the election, he appointed you as a senior special assistant.
So he gave me an appointment as a senior special assistant on diaspora matters. That was in 2020.
So what was it like working with the governor?
So it was a beautiful experience in the sense that I saw him as a prudent man. I like that. I do not want to work for someone who's wasteful. I saw him immediately pay wages on time. He wasn't owing anybody. I give him kudos for that. I saw him begin to pay pensioners their backdated monies that the past governor didn't pay them. I saw wonderful things. I was very happy. So I used all my sweat, all my blood, all my finances, because the salary is nothing compared to the expenses when I have to do what I have to do for people. So I stayed in there and I was hopeful that yes, I've calculated it, that for anyone to emerge, especially a woman in Nigeria, you need to have the support of a sitting governor. If you don't have a sitting governor in your state, you need to have the support of the national body of the party so that they can really stick to the rules of their constitution where they will have more women. So I started working for him. 1 year to the primaries, 2022, I reminded him again, daddy, because I used to call him daddy then, and mommy, the wife. This thing is not looking right again, oh. As in, there are more giants coming in. I can see they're wasting their money, as in they're spending money. You've promised us that we're going to have at least 3 women in the Federal House of Reps. We're going to have at least 3 minimum women in Assembly. And I am the only woman so far that's come out in the whole state for Rep at the time. He said, Basa, go and relax yourself. I will give you. I say, thank you, Daddy. God bless you, sir. Because guess what? It's the governors that give the slots.
There's no primary.
There's no primaries unless the governor is not interested in that local government.
But your cousin won the primary election.
Let's fast forward. So fast forward to 3 days to the primaries. At that point,
by this time you have resigned.
I have to resign legally for INEC rules. For you to be able to contest as a public servant, you must resign. So I resigned in March. And that's why I do all these videos I do, because we have people who pass different rumors all around. There was a guy that was posting something saying I didn't resign. I have my letter. I resigned. It's dated March. So
you resigned voluntarily?
Oh, yes, so that I can continue to contest. And it was signed by the SSG.
So before the resignation, you had a peaceful working relationship with the governor?
No issues. I have no issues with him. Even till now, I have no issues with him. So, and I still had my promise in one hand. And my local government is Ibadan North local government. Just one local government. Easy peasy.
Your father represented that local government at some point.
He actually did.
1999 to 2003.
Yep. And his brother also 2003 till 2007.
Okay.
So that shows you that they did well in that place. They wanted them and the people voted for them. That's why till date I still put Omo Ali Bey. I put my father's name on my posters when I want to talk about politics. So 3 days to the primaries, I had some delegates ringing me up. Basa, you will pay for this thing, no? I say, pay for what? So they pay for primaries. They say, yes, you will pay. I say, really? How much is the going rate for these primaries? They say 1 million. I say, you and who? 1 million per what? 1 million per vote? Forget
Per delegate.
it. Per delegate, yeah. And there's 36 delegates. I wasn't going to pay that because my mission is to end money politics. I am passionate about it on a more serious note. If I do not end money politics, please tell me which organizer's child can emerge as a candidate for rep if you have to pay 1 million per delegate to vote for you. Which teacher's child can become president if we have to use money to even become just a simple candidate first, not even election day again. No. So the first expense is primaries if your governor is not with you. The second expense is canvassing and campaigning door to door. The third expense is actually on election day, whether you like it or not. No matter your preaching, we do not have enough enlightened people in politics. We do not have enough educated people that understand good from bad. We have people who do not have they cannot afford 1 square meal a day, so they have to collect that money on election day. 10,000 per vote, 20,000 per vote. Please multiply it for me, sir. I want 1 million votes, for example, in Oyo State. Multiply 10,000 naira by 1 million votes. How many billions is that? So when will our own children become governors, senators, presidents in this country if we don't kill money politics? So I refused all of them. I told them, I'm not going to pay you nothing. I have an envelope branded. I've got 20,000 as appreciation for your transportation on the day. You all know me. I've been with you for 3 years in this same PDP since 2019, 2020, yeah, almost 4 years. I've been promoting PDP. I've been spending my money on PDP. So why should I pay you to vote for me? And we had women there. 6 delegates or so were female. The rest were male out of the 36. My brother, they wouldn't budge. It was all about the transaction, and I wasn't going to transact with them.
So did any aspirants pay 1 million to the delegates?
Well, I wouldn't know because I wasn't there. But in the end, luckily for my family, my cousin emerged as the candidate in Ibadan North local government, Bolanle Sarumi.
Was he the governor's candidate?
No, because the governor dumped our local government. He wasn't looking at it.
He wasn't interested.
He wasn't interested. So the promise of over 2 years ended.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Bolanle Sarumi Aliyu telling her story. Contemporary politics. You know, her story defines Nigeria's politics. How did the past bring us to this level of politics? How? The Orkar Coup is the past. At the checkpoint that day, what I can see from here are brothers facing brothers. At the checkpoint, guns were lowered, hands were raised. It was not a quarrel of men. It was a question of destiny. Let leaders see that in that moment, every command is a seed. What you plant in your followers, they will harvest in the land. Did that sink? Every command is a seed. What you plant in your followers, they will harvest in the land. So the crisis you see in the land is planted by the leadership. So we harvest violence, and sometimes we harvest bridges. It is not all doom and gloom. The Orkar Coup was no ordinary coup. In their broadcast, the coup piece announced that Nigeria was to be restructured. 5 northern states were to be excised from the nation. It was more than a grab for power. It was an attempt to redraw the map of Nigeria, to alter the very soul of Nigeria. Yet within hours, the coup collapsed. Blood was spilled, dreams were crushed, and lives were lost. Now, pause for a while. Why do soldiers plot coups? Why does a young man sworn to defend the flag turn his gun against the flag? Why does the barracks believe it can dictate the ballot? As you understand and answer these questions, as you listen to the story of Jack Adokiye, he found himself in the front line.
So this time, the anchor point was Ikeja.
No, the anchor point wasn't Ikeja. After that, Mokoro even took us, Captain Emperor, took us in his vehicle, myself, Kanu, Gillespie, and Sergeant Ademokai, down to Ikeja GRA. Unknown to us, we didn't know that that place is taking us to is Major Mokoro's house.
By this time, you already knew who Mukoro was.
He's my officer. He's one of my officers at the directorate.
So when you got to Mukoro's house...
He did not drive us straight. Like, this is your office now. That traveling agency, that was where he stopped us. Because he doesn't want to drive straight. Because he knows it's something of a coup. So that people will not be seeing people going random movement around Mokoro's house. So what he did, he stopped us. This was maybe around after 7 to 8.
It was already dark.
Yes, getting dark. He stopped us around that traveling agency. But this place now is Mokoro's house. He now asked us to come down. We say, no, we are not going down. That we want to know the type of party and where we are going and what exactly.
So by this time, you were already suspecting that something is not right.
It's not right, but we didn't even know that it's a coup. But we want exactly to know the type of party that they want to stage. So myself, where my mind was going, I say whether they want to use us to escort hard drugs or what.
Did military officers do that at the time?
I don't know, but it could happen. But that is where my mind go to. But my mind didn't go to coup. All of us, we are pondering the type of party that we want to do, that we are going from barracks to barracks, from barrack to barracks. Without briefing, this is the venue of the party. And when the party is to start.
So those were red flags?
Yes. Now, when he asks us to come down, we say, no, we are not coming down. We want him to give us a lowdown of what is about to happen. He said, no, Jack, you are my brother now. You're not from Rivers. Gillespie, you are my brother. Can I plan a vote for you, two of you? Adomokai, your mother is from my place now, from Rivers State. No matter you are from Edo. Kanu, you are from Imo. You are our next door neighbor.
So by this time, there was no northern officer among you?
Yes.
It was about the south?
About the south.
Mostly the Niger Delta?
Yes. But they brought in some Middle Belt later. So now what happened? We refused. He angrily left us to Mokoro's house. He told Mokoro that he came with some of our military police personnel, that they are in his vehicle. They refused to come down.
All of you were military police officers?
Yeah, 4 of us.
And Emperor was a military police officer?
Yeah.
Mukoro was a military police officer?
Yeah. So now, Mokoro now was on uniform, fully dressed, with this senior officer's walking stick that if you stand, sometimes you can open it and relax with it. But not sitting there, you just open it, stand and relax with it. It doesn't have back this in, it's only the opening. So now, two of them came. Immediately we sighted Mokoro. My brother, do you know what happened?
What happened?
The discipline in the army is too much. We all ran out from the car. Came to attention.
Shun, sir.
No, we didn't salute because we were not in uniform.
Okay, so if you're not in uniform, you don't salute that way?
No, you don't salute.
Okay.
You just chest out. Keep your hands straight. And I said, why is it that you are our personnel, you are the director, you came and Emperor told you people that is bringing you to my house. You people refused to come. We said, he didn't tell us that he was bringing us to your house. He said, now that you have known, what are you supposed to do now? We said, we'll follow up now. We follow.
Ajay.
I'm telling you. On getting there, we saw different faces.
In Mukoro's house?
In Mukoro's house. They were drinking, enjoying pepper soup.
Did you join the party?
No. I said no. My spirit told me that, my friend, you have to see whatever is happening with your two clear eyes. I didn't take even water.
Were you tense at this point? Or
No,
you were still relaxed?
I was still a little bit relaxed, but I was still under imagination.
What is going on?
What is going on? What is about to happen? And what is this party all about? The next thing, after some time, Mokoro now took his peso, gave to Sergeant Sergeant Ademokai. Say, you are my ADC. So anywhere I go, you bring it to follow me with the peso. Then the next thing he said, somebody should pray. Then I begin to see some inscription. God is in control. A kind of something they printed, many. God is in control. The next thing, after the prayer, Mokoro now said, we are here, gentlemen. I know that some of you don't know that. Some of you don't know why you will gather here tonight. It's to flush out the present military government from seat.
He announced.
He announced.
At that point, what ran through your mind?
My blood course ran into my stomach.
You became so tense?
I became so tense.
A soldier like you?
Yes, because I was taken unaware. It's something that I did not bargain for. When you did not bargain for something, but although Igbo man say onye ihe mere na mbregede ka na mata dike. But this time around, coup is not something that you will involve yourself. It's not a play act.
Life and death.
Life and death involved. So I have to be tense.
Did you say a word when Mokoro announced that this is a coup?
Nobody. The next thing Mokoro said, Captain Emperor, Captain Tulufari, make sure no movement.
Lockdown.
Lockdown. The next thing we begin to see, J5. J5 coming in.
Were they brand new J5s?
Brand new ones. Mint.
So these were the J5s that were purchased by Ogboru? Great Ogboru. He sponsored the coup.
Yeah.
Continue with your story.
With one station wagon. All brand new.
They came to Mukoro's house.
Yes. That was how they said, inbox. People begin to enter.
By this time, have you worn your uniform?
No. My kit bag was still with me.
No gun.
No gun. It was that we now move straight to Ikorodu from Mokoro's house. But Mokoro drove 505. New, brand new. All the boots, both inside and outside. Mint, money.
So you were in one of the J5s?
I was in the station wagon.
With Mokoro?
No, Mokoro was driving 505, full of cash. We drove straight to Ikorodu. On getting there, we met some retired soldiers. They recruited them and kept them in the hotel that they were going to employ them in that Ogburu fishing company.
So that Ikorodu you drove to was Ogburu's fishing company, the compound, the yard?
The yard, yeah.
So these ex-officers were also deceived?
They were also deceived. They don't know. I should think so. They don't know. Because I met one guy who just retired in my office that night. He was greeting me. But that time I was tense. I just greeted him casually.
You didn't make any attempt to run?
No.
Why?
Because as at that time, how do you run? Because all eyes are on us.
But there were no guns. You could have escaped.
There were no guns. He can't escape because already they are monitoring everybody. The officers are at the gate as you entered. How do you run away? They will ask you, where are you going? And if you make any attempt and they know that you are trying to run away, my brother, they can lynch you before the coup.
So when you got to Ikorodu?
When we got to Ikorodu now, the next thing, they arranged some officers like Tolufare, Major Bahe. He was a former signal commander, CO at my 2 signal barracks, Major Bahe. He was the one that led some of us, Tolufare and some other officers and soldiers, to my 2. But on our way going...
When you got to Ikorodu, at that Great Ogboru's yard,
yes,
what happened there?
We met some ex-soldiers that they brought in there. We met them there. Then as we get there, they now arrange the people that will go and source for arms.
So there were no arms there?
There was no single arm.
So you needed to source for arms that night?
That night, for the operation.
Ogboru did not buy arms?
No, I did not see one pin.
And Mokoro did not come with arms?
No pin, apart from his service pistol. He has a military police service pistol as a military police officer. Tolufare too was having his service of pistol.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Today has been a revelation in terms of what has been happening to this land that we merely heard of without witnessing. Being here today, we've witnessed so much. The distances we've covered, the sites we've seen, the people we've met, the activities that have been going on, that we've seen physically with our very eyes, the destruction that has been taking place, the amount of valued minerals that have been leaving this land and that are still packed, yet to be evacuated, we've seen so much. We now know that illegal miners have dominated this land. Particularly, they have empowered thugs, bandits, people who have no business around here to settle on this land, Itasa land. Vast areas of settlement that we have captured. People who don't belong in this community at all, who have never really belonged in this community, have settled. They've taken over the land. Vast square kilometers of land with settlements. We don't know what they are up to. But we know one thing. They are evacuating and extracting minerals from our community. And they have empowered these many people who have taken over the land to intimidate the community, to threaten them, and if possible, kidnap, maim, possibly kill. We've heard stories of people who have been maimed, who had been attacked. We didn't know it was this serious. Now we know how serious it is.
This is entirely a new world. Do you know, from Itasa town to this place, it took us about 1 hour, 20 minutes. As you move in, you think you have moved into an ungoverned space. It is amazing. This is entirely a new world. Do you know, from Itasa town to this place, it took us about 1 hour, 20 minutes. As you move in, you think you have moved into an ungoverned space. It is amazing. The community you see on the way, you see what you call colonies on the road, occupied by a certain tribe. You see cows roaming freely in the bushes. Are you asking yourself, is this part of your state? It's entirely a new world. It is so deep in, and by the time you move closer, you are told there is a mining site where billions are carted away almost every day. Important minerals are being mined, and the community is so isolated. You see wealth and you see poverty. You begin to ask yourself, what kind of country are we building? You begin to ask yourself, how can a land have so much wealth and the people are so poor? That is the story of Nigeria. And this story is one we must continuously interrogate. We just left Archetype mining site. Though we could not penetrate physically, but we could see the pictures from the drone, as you can see now. I see wealth. Oyo State should be rich. Itasa should be rich. The people should be rich. Nigeria should be rich. Yet poverty is rising. Something is wrong somewhere. We are in Ado-Awaye, so we are at the foot of Orkar Coup mountain, rock as the case may be. This is the foot. So from here we'll be heading to the top. What's our mission? We want to have a dialogue with Iyake Lake. That's why we're here. So this is the foot of the rock. We are relaxed. So we are saving energy because the work up the rocks will take more than an hour. So you need to be strong, exercise yourself, getting ready, and up we go soon. So welcome to Orkar Hills, Orkar Mountain, Orkar Rocks. We are going to have a dialogue with Iyake Lake. Come with us. Up we go. The journey begins now. Yes, our tour guide is ahead of me. You can see him from Oyo State Ministry of Culture and Tourism. He's taking us up. This is the first gate, the gate into the rocks. We have different rocks here, and Iyake Lake is at the top of one of the rocks. Let's go.
The place has over 200 steps. It has over 200 steps.
300 steps?
Yes. And in fact, we have about 16 sites there. 16 sites, he said 30 sites. When that Iyake is the most prominent one. Iyake Suspended Lake is the most prominent one among them. On our way now, we first of all reach Isagi Hill. After Isagi Hill, we see Odoyalaro, we see Esiamu Agba. We see Iyake Suspended Rock. If we move up, we see a second coup. That's a very sharp edge of the rock. We see Odobanji Jira. We see Majekakan. We see Agbomafo Iyake. That one is very close to Iyake Lake. It is believed that if somebody puts his leg inside, the person.
So the governor did not support you?
No, he didn't. And he could. Guess why? There was a time he called all of us to come to the secretariat, right? All the aspirants were all there. Those who know will tell you the truth. And he told the leaders there, because they all came with their leaders. We all came with our leaders. He was telling them, the local governments, he wants them to concede, because we had the option of consensus at that time. He told them, I want Ibadan North East for Agbowoni to come back. According is doing well. I want Southeast, Southwest for so he picked all the areas he wanted. Ibadan North, he said, hey, it looks like you guys are stubborn. You guys have not decided. You haven't given me a consensus. I was like, Oga, you choose for us. He said, no, you guys should go to primaries. I said, me, Basa, I am not interested in any primaries.
Why?
In front of him.
Why?
Because it means that it's gone. I saw him physically give other people tickets. So why must our own go to a primary?
But Basa is a Democrat.
You don't get it. I'm a Democrat, but I saw a consensus happening. So what happened to our own female affirmative action? Why was I denied or the other women denied who went for assembly too? Why were they denied?
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
And then the Ministry of Agriculture, and those, as you know, are quite complicated portfolios, but he approached everything with military discipline, and his name always elicits, respect and admiration, and a lot of people just thought that he was very upright, and I think might have looked on favorably or more favorably if he had taken the reins of power. But he was not interested in that in any way, shape, or form. And mind you, he was a great officer and a fine gentleman. And loyalty is one of the cardinal values of the military tradition. So there is no way General Udati Wellington would have thought of wresting power from his superior officer, who was General Akufo. And I hope this puts paid to that myth.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Before the Battle of Osogbo,
yes,
Odenilo had a pigeon.
He had a pigeon. That's correct.
The pigeon was like a spy.
It was like a spy. He had it like a spy.
For Odenilo.
Yes.
He sent the pigeon to the Fulani camp.
That's correct.
The pigeon will go survey,
carry out intelligence report.
And in the book, you said fortified pigeon.
Yes, it was a fortified pigeon.
When you say fortified pigeon, what does that mean?
You see, Odenilo was taken at the age of 15 years old. He was taken by Haja. That is spirit of whirlwind. He was carried out. What the American will call abduction. He was abducted by Aja. In Yoruba land, Aja was the spirit of the whirlwind. He can carry people. Some people were carried away. They were taught things, how to use the herbs, powerful medicine. So Odenilo was fortified by that Aja. So he gave him three things. He gave him Osai, he gave him a staff, and the pigeon. So those three things work to help him in the battle. Those were the powers of Odenilo. The staff is still in the family house.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
You know, let's reflect on Odenilo's pigeon. You know, he sends his pigeon into the camp of the enemy. The pigeon goes, survey, comes back with the information to the warrior, Odenilo. That means, as at 1840, African warriors, Yoruba warriors, hide the idea of surveillance. In the case of Odenilo, it was his pigeon. Imagine that pigeon to be a drone. As we speak, at that time, Odenilo sends the pigeon. The pigeon goes, surveys. Today, they send the drone. You know, Nia Borishade said the pigeon was fortified. If you look at the drone today, the drone is also fortified by science, by digital instruments. And you see the casing, the way it is packaged, it is fortification. Why did Odenilo's pigeon die and it will not come out with a drone? Odenilo had the idea of a drone in 1840. The pigeon died, yet we did not come out with a drone. Odenilo's pigeon is today's modern drone. What do you think? Huh? The lines are open. Let's talk. 070694 930 00. 074694. That is 070694 930 00. Or 070 144 75770. It is the story of Jack Adokiye, the Gideon Orkar Coup. Good morning. Hello, good morning. No voice. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. 070144 75770. Join the discourse. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Edmund.
Good morning.
Is it to me? I don't see anything wrong in having lady as a governor in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, what men can do, the women can do better. It's quite unfortunate about the kind of system we have in Nigeria and the kind of leadership you have. With all due respect and honor to them, some of them are serious minded set of people that haven't prepared for the task for them. Secondly, the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is highly primitive and lack integrity, and also put the whole nation under a tribe. It's quite unfortunate. Olamide Sarumi has what it takes to contest for every position in Peseta State. Or does he have what it takes to be a governor? No, simply because the problem of political gladiator, the vote buying, and political party structure, I think is a very, very heavy for her to carry. That is just the truth of it. I'm trying to, although let me be sincere with every Nigerian that's under the sound of my phone this morning. The president and the executive, the president, Mr. Ashwad Bolanle Sarumi, the legislative chamber of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, they have what it takes to change the system. Thank you. Have a nice day. On my passion this morning.
Thank you for calling the radio station. Basa wants to be governor. What is stopping her? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, this is Shamsuddin calling from Lagos.
All right. Make your point.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I can still hear myself in the background. Can you turn down the volume of your device? Hello. Hello. Apparently he's listening online. Aha. So while he was speaking, you just turn down the volume once we pick your call, okay?
Okay.
Hello. You see, once you call the radio station, turn down the volume of your radio. Good morning. Oyewo Shola Simeon is on Splash FM Facebook page. He says, morning radio man. Not bad having woman as the governor, but coming to the leadership race requires her total submission and humble heart to firstly support before proceeding to take up the race. Human character or behavior must not play beyond the assignment and expectation in governance. John Oguche Onyisi says, African myths work, our problem is continuity and making scientific discoveries. Good morning, radio man. All right, the lines are buzzing. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Edmund Obilo.
The program is State Affairs.
Yeah, my name is Jacob, and I'm calling for the first time from Odife Road, Ibadan.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much. Edmund Obilo, I want to talk about that Oderelo and that pigeon and the analysis that you gave. You know that we Africans, we are suffering from the white man mentality. Obilo, let me give you an example. Now, our fathers, they invented that rope which they used to climb palm tree to go and cut the fruits. They also invented the ladder which they climb palm wine tree to go and cut the palm wine. Now, they invented a lot of things. If it were Uyghurs, by now that rope must have been turned to a scientific way. When I was young, from school, we have a boy that he would just cut a leaf from the bush. Only him will see that leaf. He will cut that leaf into two and give you half of the leaf, you go as far as miles. Whatever you communicated with that leaf, each other will be heard each other. Then when we meet again, we will be confirming what we said. A white man took that boy away from the village, promising the parents he was going to educate this boy. Up to today, the boy has not returned. But the next thing, we now see cellular phones, we now see GSM, all one not. You see now, we have a very long way to go. Odenilona invented that. I'm very sure that that pigeon, which he referred to in his book, you know, this in modern day drone. And we also have a certain spirit in my place. They call it Atmepegu. It's a woman body and a goat head. A white man deceived this spirit, put it in the bottle and took it away from Nigeria. And the people there are all poor because that spirit placed a curse on them. They are poor till today. See? So that there are a lot of things like that. We Africans, you see, have a very long way to go. And Edmond, I want to ask you, why didn't you title today's class? We know that we do on history, politics, and powers, but we usually have a title for the class. But today, we didn't hear the title for today's class. And before I go, I want to appreciate you. You are really doing a great job. Thank you, and remain blessed.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, sorry. The title of today's class. Okay, those watching online, you see the title there. But I'm sorry for that. So the title of today's class is Inside the Orkar Coup, How a Soldier Found Himself on the Front Line. That is the title of today's class. Inside the Orkar Coup, How a Soldier Found Himself on the Front Line. You know, they call it the Orkar Coup, but in the story being told by Jack Adokiye, you hardly hear Orkar. So why is it the Orkar Coup? Orkar was not even one of those who planned the coup. He was invited. From my investigation, the main brain behind that coup was Major Mukoro. You know, he escaped too. He escaped and later became a professor. He was the top-notch radical among them. Tolofari, Koneninyam. Gideon Orkar was only invited later, but he became the Orkar Coup because he was the one that read the coup broadcast. So he was the first name everybody got to know. And remember, in Nigeria, most of those who read the coup speeches don't become head of state. So who was going to be the head of state among them? You know, Colonel Inyam was the most senior officer among them. The lines are open. Let's talk. Good morning.
Hello. Hello, my champion coming from Lagos again.
Go ahead.
Is it better now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. So, you know, it's a very beautiful one calling from Lagos, and you know, the lady Sarumi, you know, she has really made a very valid point, and because of you know, having money politics eradicated from our, you know, politics in Nigeria is a very good one, such that the son of a vulcanizer, she has mentioned as an example, you know, would be able to mount the leadership. And if we don't eradicate it earlier now, you know, we won't be able to, you know, forge ahead. So, and also, you know, the way we invite these ex-military officers is very beautiful one, because, you know, it goes to show that a lot of all these things that happened during these military eras, they are also rearing their heads now. But it is because the current political figures that we have across the country, they have found a way of removing history, so that the average Nigerian will never know what history, you know, was all about. You know, now they have made hunger the biggest thing in town, such that when somebody who is hungry, they don't even have the right to even demand for his right or her right. So I love it that, we keep on inviting these ex-military officers so that the populace is able to know that a lot of half of all these things are happening during the past, a lot of it are happening in the present. So we have to take action and make sure that we wrestle, these political figures that are currently ravaging and thinking Nigeria on a daily basis. Thank you very much, Radio Man.
Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. KG Akinwale, I can see you on X. He says, good morning. You asked about turning Oderin-Law's pigeon into drone. If it was to be now, and you want to study the bird, wouldn't they say it's an abomination to touch it? If they say it's an abomination, you find a way of kidnapping the bird and study it. Let's stop giving excuses. Yes, to make change will be resisted. If you don't know, no change is allowed. So every change must be resisted. If they say the bird is an abomination, you find a way of arresting the bird and knowing the secret of the bird. That is what those with inquisitive mind will do. But here, you might just, let's poison this bird so that Oderin-Law will no longer have power. That would be our thinking. Let's destroy Oderin-Law by destroying the bird. But an inquisitive man will say, this bird, let's capture this bird and discover the secret of this bird so that we have more birds. So Oderin-Law will not be the only warrior that will go into battle with a drone. So that we have enough drones so that the warriors will all be strong. Why should Oderin-Law be the only one with a drone? You see, the thinking is now different. So if you find that bird, I want to catch that bird. Is the bird dead? I wish it was in my time. I would have caught that bird and put it in a golden cage. Here we always surround those things with mystics. Don't come near it. No, the gods forbid. The God has forbidden, now we remain poor. Yeah? No, the gods, leave the gods out of this matter. You see, our brain is so charged that you can discover impossibilities. We choked ourselves with the gods. Even when the gods were wrong, we were dying of hunger and pain. And somebody came from nowhere and challenged the God. And your God collapsed and gave you his own religion. You see, so and it's still happening. It's still happening. That same mentality is still guiding us. That is how we still operate. But somehow we will knock it out. It requires what you call deep mind re-engineering. It's not the work of guns. It's mind re-engineering. That's what the white men did. When they came, they applied some level of force. That was to intimidate us. So when they applied that force, they now came with books, came with ideas, with theories. They began to counter your own theories and begin to introduce that. They began to teach you religious studies. See, it took them time. And you see, let me give you the sign of a leadership that will take African country out. It's a leadership that will also apply that model. That is the same model China applied to take its people out of poverty. You must re-engineer the minds of the people. With this same mindset, even the followers are worse than their leaders. So once you see that leader, you will see the kind of policy that leader will come. He will calm the nation. The first thing the leader will come, he will calm the nation. And then begin to work on their minds, education. Begin to come with theories. Begin to know what to do with Nollywood. We don't know what to do with Nollywood. Everybody's just in it. You are not directing the message. It's not solving problems. Everybody's just acting. Comedians are just acting. We are all lost. We are lost in a haze. And normally the masses are always lost. That is why you need leadership. Some philosophical leadership to now harness the energy of the masses. Man is full of energy. So if you don't harness it, regulate it, they will express it in different negative forms. And with the advent of social media, you can see the exact character of people. You can't hide. That's what America is saying. If you want to apply for a visa, you must put in your social media, because your social media tells your story. It's your character. You can't hide it. If you want to know people's character now, go on their pages. You know who they are to a good extent. The algorithm knows you. They know what you watch. You know? So, a government that is ready for change must first start with mind indoctrination. And that leader must be very deep. And that leader cannot be a product of this same political system. I mean, at some point, something will give. It will, oh. Something will give. Huh? Let's bring in Bassa. Bassa has not fully expressed her misgivings. How come she could not get a ticket to the House of Reps? She felt a woman needed to go there. Okay, let her express herself. Bolanle Sarumi on State Affairs.
The governor did not support you.
No, he didn't. And he could. Guess why? There was a time he called all of us to come to the secretariat, right? All the aspirants were all there. Those who know will tell you the truth. And he told the leaders there, because they all came with their leaders. We all came with our leaders. He was telling them, the local governments, he wants them to concede, because we had the option of consensus at that time. He told them, I want Ibadan North East for Agbowoni to come back. According, is doing well. I want Southeast, Southwest for so he picked all the areas he wanted. Ibadan North, he said, hey, it looks like you guys are stubborn. You guys have not decided. You haven't given me a consensus. I was like, Oga, you choose for us. He said, no, you guys should go to primaries. I said, me, Bassa, I am not interested in any primaries. Why? In front of him.
Why?
Because it means that it's gone. I saw him physically give other people tickets. So why must our own go to a primary?
But Bassa is a Democrat.
You don't get it. I'm a Democrat, but I saw a consensus happening. So what happened to our own female affirmative action? Why was I denied or the other women denied who went for assembly too? Why were they denied? Are you seeing the thing now? It's two aspects.
But you see, Ibadan North was special. You had about 13 candidates.
Yes.
Even former members of House of Reps.
Every other local government was special, my brother. They all had former this, former that. They had people who have been in PDP for 20 years before the person that was chosen by the governor.
Are you sure the governor imposed themselves on other local governments?
No, he didn't impose. He asked for consensuses.
And they gave him consensus.
And they gave him the leaders.
Ibadan North did not give him consensus candidates.
He never asked for it. Are you getting the calculation?
So you feel Governor Seyi Makinde disappointed you?
He disappointed and abandoned my local government. In front of all of us, the same day he chose the other consensus candidates, right?
Did he choose them? Or they presented their names to him? I just want to get it clear.
No, there's physical. There's one certain local government, I won't bother mentioning it. 2 candidates were there, right? I'll give you an example. On the same day, the leaders chose A. Almost 11 leaders chose A for their candidate. The governor said, no, I would like us to use B for his own reasons.
Are you talking about Oluyole?
I am not talking about
that federal constituency.
You won't hear it from me. Okay. But live and direct there, the leaders conceded and they gave the governor the ticket to B. So why couldn't he do the same for us? So we stood there with our leaders in front of him when it was our turn, because he did it local government by local government. And he said, leaders, have you chosen who you want? They said, no. We have 13 people in front of us. So the governor asked all of us one by one, what would you like? I said, excuse me, sir. I would like you to choose your consensus the same way you've done for the other people outside. Choose who you want, because I do not believe in any primaries anymore at this point.
And you didn't choose Bassa?
No. And at that point, there were 12 men and 2 women.
He said, go and slug it out.
And at that point, he had already chosen 13 male reps, candidates. So what would it kill him to offer, even if it's the other woman, he gave that one slot for rep in Oyo State? What would it cost him for that gender affirmative action, for that fulfilling the promise of 30%, not even fulfilling my own promise anymore at that point? Are you getting now? There were no other female apart from one in Lagelu. So in the whole Oyo State.
You eventually went for the primaries.
Yes, so on the primaries day, I cooked, I bought drinks, I told the delegates, you will eat, you will dance, I will give you my own little envelope for your transportation. I am not paying no 500k, 750, 1 million. They all paid. Many people paid. But I'm happy they went and collected all their money back in the night.
You didn't win the primary.
No, I did not win.
Your cousin won.
My cousin won. And I was so happy. I told them, I said, you see, God doesn't sleep. God doesn't sleep. You don't make a promise you don't fulfill. Instead, don't even say anything.
So at that point,
I was disappointed.
With Seyi Makinde.
I was disappointed in him because all he had to do after that was a phone call. This is somebody we communicate regularly. He would have said, Basa, I had my reasons. Let's continue governing this state. Let's do XYZ. None of that happened till date. We're talking 2022. We're in 2025.
So at that point, you began to work against him.
I didn't work against him. Guess what? I don't work against people. Instead, I step aside.
Did you step aside?
I stepped aside.
You went fully into the Atiku Abubakar camp.
I went fully to assist our presidential candidate in PDP to work for him.
Knowing that Governor Seyi Makinde wasn't supporting him.
Do you know we never knew? He never told us so. Where did you see it?
Did you have to?
He never said it anywhere.
But you knew he was a member of the G5?
No. Before that, we never knew he wanted to work against us. Then the G5 cropped up, right? And at that point, I was still a PDP member. And we have a presidential candidate. So I was not ready to do anti-party. So I stood on the mandate of the PDP and I supported the presidential candidate at the time.
And you supported Seyi Makinde in the governorship?
No, I didn't bother. I stayed in my national level. I campaigned up and down and I just stayed away from his mission. I did not vote against him. I did not vote for APC. I did not vote for any other party, but I did not vote at all for governorship in 2023.
You did not vote at all?
No, I didn't. I was busy.
For a governor, you have said...
For a governor that disappointed his follower, or what would I call myself under him.
For a governor that wanted a level playing field for all the candidates?
No, you are missing the point. That wasn't level. It can never be level if you ignore the female affirmative action. It can never be level if you do not have if you not put more females in it. You cannot have 14 reps and all of them are male. This is wrong.
But I thought power is a struggle.
32. No, well, we're struggling and we're continuing.
Power is a struggle.
I'm not giving up. I'm continuing. They should bring it on and I'm ready to push it back.
Are you saying to women that go into this ring, take these men up and stop calling for affirmative action?
No, we need it first.
Okay.
We need a soft landing because we've been in democracy for donkeys now and nothing has changed. Every electoral cycle, we all come out as women. We spend our money. Do you know how many women aspired in Oyo State at that time? Over 21 women for assembly. 3 women for rep. And you couldn't pick one woman in the whole state and support that person when you could pick the men. He picked the men.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
That is Bolanle Sarumi on State Affairs. Adeniji Ademola says, Odenilo and his pidgin can be linked with the dominance of America, flexing of power around the world. He says China, Russia, India studied American pigeons and developed a more powerful pigeon to liberate themselves. Are you sure their pigeons are more powerful than America's? In America, leads the way. Once you copy, they move to the next one. That is what you call continuous upgrading. They continue to think. And you can know why. If you look at the investment America is putting into university education, we need a lot of thinking. Yes, Dr. Edema, thank you for your position. That is quite up. But again, what is it about their brain that gave them that impetus to be able to deceive us? At that level of development that they had attained at that time, at that level of thinking, remember, by that time, they've advanced their thought. You could see they have moved from the Dark Age to the Renaissance and to the Enlightenment. So those who talk about politics today have not critically looked at how Europe emerged. Europe emerged from the power of the brain. That is why the Renaissance is an epoch. Renaissance is about thinking, the art, science. Why does the sun go to sleep at some point and the moon comes out? You know, why the African sees the moon and says, this is so beautiful. It is my God. They look up at the moon. Some look up at the sun God. Europe also, some of them began to say, no. How come the sun goes to bed at some point and the moon comes out? Something must be rotating. They began to think, They began to think. But in the case of Africa, we just accept it and begin to worship it. Yes, there were some thinkers who were improving. Yes, we were improving. But it cannot be compared to the speed at which Europe, Asia had taken off. You know, at some point, even China was more advanced than Europe. Europe copied from Hellenistic cultures in Greece to advance. Africa has that same opportunity to copy and advance. So I'm calling on the professors of science, thought leaders. We need to think ourselves out of this. It's not a question of bullet. It's about thinking yourself out of this. Dr. Philip Edema, thank you for joining the discourse here. Let me get your thought. I can see Lannister aspiration. He says, why Bassa is highly articulate. Her rhetoric demonstrates a level of desperation that is concerning. Demonstrates a level of desperation that is concerning. I hear desperation. If you want power, at some point you need to show some level of desperation because it's an ambition. But your desperation should not be negative because it's an ambition. But your desperation should not be negative. Desperation is not a negative connotation on a good day. You can be desperate for power if you want it. You know you have a blueprint. You can show desperate. You want it. You know, that is zeal. You know, if it's for development, it is positive. Lannister aspiration says this, combined with a populist mindset evident in her self-labeling as articulate and obedient, aligns her with the old political order. What we need now is not populism, but a reoriented political system driven by a blend of idealism and pragmatic thinking. That's deep. Wow. Lannister aspiration. He says what we need now is not populism, but a reoriented political system driven by a blend of idealism and pragmatic thinking. I can see official Mojimo Riri here. The Nigerian government, as it is now, needs more money. One needs more money and more strategies to win election. You see, the armoury was opened. The weapons lay waiting in silence. But in truth, the weapons were mirrors reflecting the hearts of men. Leadership is like an armoury. What you release into your people becomes the measure of your legacy. History tells us coups are not born from frustration. History tells us coups are born from frustration. Frustration with corruption, with failed leadership, with a nation's endless drift. But coups also reveal something darker: our impatience with democracy, our weakness in building institutions, our habit of seeing salvation in the barrel of a gun rather than in the will of the people. Jack Adokiye on State Affairs.
You have been mentioning some particular names, Mukoro, Tolofari Emperor. These were the planners of the coup.
They are the major planners with Colonel Inyam.
With Colonel Inyam. Major Mukoro, Colonel Inyam, Tolofari, and Emperor.
Emperor, 4 of them.
You've never mentioned Gideon Orkar.
No.
Continue your story.
So now, on us, we dismantled them.
You dismantled the checkpoint.
The police checkpoint, the first one, second one.
And the policemen were armed.
They were armed.
So how did you do that?
The major boy approached the inspector and was trying to briefing him. And before then, we have been told that as he's talking with him, we should go behind the rest, get grip of them with their rifles.
And you guys did exactly that?
Perfect.
And you disarmed them?
Perfect.
So what happened to their arms?
Their arms was seized, and we took them to that Great Oburu warehouse.
And you locked them up?
On hostage.
On hostage?
Yeah.
Okay. So the road is clear?
The road is clear now.
And the coupists are on the move?
One hand.
So you are going straight now to My 2?
My 2. Getting to My 2 too, they have two military gates. Before you can enter, you pass the first military checkpoint, second checkpoint, before you get to the barracks. We have to dismantle it the way we dismantled the police.
So how did you dismantle the first checkpoint at the barracks?
The same Major Bahe, who was formerly a commanding officer of that signal unit. So they know him well. He was a commanding officer there before.
So this time you already had some guns?
No, we didn't even use any gun of the police. We are still just like that. But one thing I must tell you is that now the morale of the coup has enveloped us.
So you are not charged up?
Charged up.
Action.
We don't even know ourselves. The spirit of the coup now. We are not charged up. So Major Bahe called the sergeant, first gate, asked him, how many of you on duty? That I'm the garrison duty officer. That I'm going around to inspect all the military formations to check how soldiers are on alert. Say, where are your men? Call them for my briefing. As he was calling them, some of them were maybe in their duty room. The same system we use at the police checkpoint was also used.
So
when they wanted to resist, Major Bahe told them, surrender yourselves.
They wanted to resist?
Even as we held them.
Okay.
They wanted to, say, what is happening? Major Bahe said, surrender yourselves.
And they surrendered?
Wow, no.
Were they armed?
The soldiers?
Yes.
Fully armed.
At the first gate?
At the first gate. Second gate, the same thing.
And you disarmed first gate?
Second gate.
And second gate?
Yes.
The same method?
Yeah, the same method. And once we disarm them, Tolofari brings marine rope. You know marine rope? They now tie them behind with the marine rope. Tie their 2 legs. Throw them in the J5. Like sardine. Hands tied behind with marine rope and legs. Throw them in the J5. Collect their guns.
Now, what was your target at My 2? Was it the armoury?
It's the armoury now. The armoury is the target. Have to source for the arm.
So,
because without that, no operation.
So, did you break into the armoury?
Surely now. We find after dismantling the first and the second gate, checkpoints in the barracks.
So how did you break into the armoury?
Tolofari brought out some long pinches. You know these long pinches? The keys they use bar to cross and padlock. So they use the bar. Just do it like this. Very sharp one. As you put it, you break it.
Tolofari was in the thick of the action.
He was one of the master planners.
And you were watching and acting. So at what point did the gun enter your hand?
We went with about 3 J5 and 1 Black Maria to My 2. So it was the Black Maria we used in loading all the arms from the armoury.
There was nobody protecting the armoury?
No, these are the soldiers in the this.
That you have already disarmed.
Yes, you have disarmed the soldiers. The barrack is now naked.
You took on a barrack.
The man who led the team, our team, Major Ado-Awaye, knows the barrack very well. He has commanded that barrack as a CEO, as a commanding officer for years. So he knows the in and out of the barrack. He knows where the armoury is. I've not been to that barrack before.
Did you kill any? Did the coups open fire on anybody at the barracks?
No.
At my two.
You can't open fire. Once you open fire, you have already can't open fire. Once you open fire, you have already exposed yourself. That you expose yourself. You've raised an eyebrow for suspicion, and if radio call is made, you can't even carry out your action anymore.
So by this time, have you worn your military uniform? Or you were still in jeans?
No, I'm on uniform now.
Good.
I'm on uniform now. I wore my uniform at Ikorodu.
Okay. Can you see yourself at the gate that day? What role did you play?
Like at the
yes, at my two. Picture yourself at my two. Can you still
at
see
my two? Major Ado-Awaye was telling us the whole of this line, because the rifles are being arranged in train, in race, with the this thing, the boxes of ammunition. The ammunitions are in boxes. Say clear here, clear here, clear here. He was telling us the areas to clear. I think we almost emptied the armoury.
So, having emptied the armoury at the My 2 barracks, what next?
We proceed back to Ikorodu.
And by this time, no signal from the army that something was happening?
No signal.
So, to Ikeja Barracks?
No, Ikorodu now.
You went back to Ikorodu?
Yes. To Ikorodu Street. That was where, before we could get at the gate, Major Mokoro and Colonel Inya were anxiously waiting for us. So when they sighted us, and Major Ado-Awaye came down and saluted Colonel Inya, he said, "How far? Any success?" He said, "Yeah, we succeeded." So they were shaking us one by one. "Congratulations. Success. Congratulations."
So what then happened from that point?
At that point, this man now said, Colonel Inyam now said, the coup is going to be successful since we have gotten arms. That is just coming from Jordan Barracks to meet his cosmate, Colonel UK Bello, and that they play chess for almost 25 minutes. And he was trying to know from him if the commander-in-chief will pass the night in Jordan Barracks.
And he got that information?
He got the information.
From Babangida's ADC?
ADC, his cosmate. He told him the commander-in-chief is very weak. That it's like they will sleep in the Jordan Barracks tonight.
But where else would he have slept if not Jordan Barracks?
No, for security purposes. Most times, even the military administrators, even the commander-in-chief, most times, they sneak out around 10, 11 to sleep somewhere, because the seat of government can be shaken at any time.
They sneak out. Can they sneak out without anybody knowing? They must move with bodyguards.
No, when they are moving like that, they don't move. Only their ADC. They even carry a car that you don't even expect. That the commander-in-chief or the military administrator, they will carry one sports car. And the ADC will drive it. They will just sneak out and stay somewhere. They will be there in the morning. They will radio either the office. Say, I hope there is no problem. We are coming back.
They were always watching their shadows.
Yes.
So, Inyam addressed the members of the team
that the commander, the CNC will be in. So, for that, he's happy that they will get them. The coup will carry on tonight. Otherwise, without that, there would have been a second thought that since the commander-in-chief will not be in the DC at the northern barracks, it will be meaningless to carry out the coup that night. But since he has gotten the assurance from the ADC, even the ADC now was telling him, won't you pass the night? He said, no, I'm coming back. Because most times he relaxed here with them because Babangida even like Colonel Inyam. They have sent him abroad for so many courses. And I learned that he even bought a house for him in Lagos and gave him money to even build a house at his place at Ogoja.
So he was like an insider.
He's an insider. They wanted to even make him the commander of the Federal Guard. So I had.
So without an insider, a coup will not succeed.
He must be an insider.
And Colonel Inyam was the insider.
He's an insider.
And he was the most senior of the plotters.
Yeah. The most senior. And they used one guy, one Lieutenant Chiwendu, who is in charge of the APC, Armor Personnel Carrier, is in charge of the Durham Barracks. So now they even use him. Like, this is the Durham Barrack, but this very place is the Commander-in-Chief's vicinity. All the armor car within this vicinity here, they remove all the firing pins.
They removed them?
They removed them.
How did they do that?
Lieutenant Chiwendu was in charge.
He was part of the coup?
Yeah. He was part of the coup. Unknown to IBB. Unknown to the commander-in-chief.
It was a well-planned coup.
It's well-planned. But there are some areas that were messed up.
Before we get to that area, so why Colonel Inyam addressed the team at Ikorodu, what next?
The next thing, Mukoro now said, everybody should go and take the rifle that you are very good at. Any rifle that you are very good at. Go and pick, take enough magazine, take enough bullet. Then they call the officers, Emperor, Turufari, call them, Turufari, you have to go to Ojo. You have to go and capture Ojo. Arrange your men. Take about 4 J5. You, Emperor, Ikeja, take your J5. Arrange your men. Let them sign their arms. That there are some people that they have planted in all these barracks, waiting for 12 sharp.
So 12 midnight was the time?
That was the target time for action.
April 22nd.
April 22nd.
1990.
Yes.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Now they are set to storm Dodan Barrack. But you will not get that part of the interview on the show. Yeah. I just gave you part one of the story, and that is the end of the story on this show. If you want to listen to other parts of that story, subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's already part one on the YouTube channel. Just search for Edmondo Bilo. I'll drop part 2 and part 3 as we go. You won't hear part 2 and 3 on this show. So follow on. Subscribe to Edmondo Bilo's YouTube channel on YouTube. More stories are coming, but these stories are meant to teach you historical lessons about politics, about power. It's about history. Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Stay tuned, stay cool.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Every great child starts with
This is the foot. So from here, we'll be heading to the top. What's our mission? We want to have a dialogue with Iyake Lake. That's why we're here. So this is the foot of the rock. We are relaxed. So we are saving energy because the work up the rocks will take more than an hour. So you need to be strong, you know, exercise yourself, getting ready, and up we'll go soon. So welcome to Okeado Hills, Okeado Mountain, Okeado Rocks. We are going to have a dialogue with Iyake Lake. Come with us. Up we go. The journey begins now. Yes, our tour guide is ahead of me. You can see him from Oyo State Ministry of Culture and Tourism. He's taking us up. This is the first gate, the gate into the rocks. You know, we have different rocks here, and Iyake Lake is at the top of one of the rocks. Let's go. The place has over 200 steps. It has over 200 steps. 300 steps? Yes. And in fact, we have about 16 sites there. 16 sites, he said 30 sites. Iyake is the most prominent one. Iyake Suspended Lake is the most prominent one among them. On our way now, we first of all reach Isagi Hill. After Isagi Hill, We see Odoyalaro, we see Esiamu Agba, we see Yake suspended rock. If we move up, we see Orkar Coup, that's a very sharp edge of the rock. We see Odobanji Gira, we see Majekakan, we see Abomafo Yake. That one is very close to Yake Lake. It is believed that if somebody puts his leg inside, the person will meet himself inside the Yake. So that is forbidden. People are forbidden from putting their leg there. So we have 60-30 sites. And in fact, those 60-30 sites during the olden days, those 60-30 sites were shrines worshipped by the indigenes that time. Before it's now been turned into 30 sites. Wow. And up till now, people who have belief, they still request for whatever they want from each of those shrines.
So we have 300 steps to go.
Yes.
Oh. Guys, we just started.
This is Agi Rock, one of the 60-30 sites on top of Ado Mountain. This rock is known for fertility and productivity. Mostly, it gives children for those who believe in it. Those who want children, they come from all nooks and crannies to come and worship it, to come and make their request, most especially for children. And children that are born under the influence of this rock, they bring the children when the Yake festival is being celebrated in November to appreciate him. And this thing is worshipped. Part of what they used to worship it, Eko, no Eko, the corn meal, the solid corn meal, Egusi, that is the local melon, cock, akuko, all those things. Then white clothes are tied around it. Now, when you want new clothes, when it's no longer in need of the old clothes, maybe you feel that the old clothes is dirty or you are torn, you will remove it by itself. And maybe that is what he has just done. He's now requesting for new clothes. So I believe new clothes will soon be brought to it, to wrap it.
So you wrap the new clothes around it?
Around it.
And
white.
It must be white?
It must be white. It must be white.
So why this line?
This is like a sphere of influence. Maybe that somebody should not move beyond this line.
This line.
And that somebody should not step beyond this line.
And if somebody steps beyond the line and hug the rock and hold the rock,
I think somebody can step, maybe, but the person should not wear shoe or slippers.
All right.
So no, it's just to maintain purity
of
it. Just to maintain purity of it.
What did you call the rock again?
This is Isagi Rock.
Isagi Rock.
It's one of the 60 shrines or 60 tourist sites on top of this Ado Mountain.
So this is the first shrine?
Yes.
governor come 2027?
By God's grace.
Bolanle Sarumi.
Ọmọ di kaka di kuku, bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń di kaka lójú ogun. Ọmọ òkè bàbá òkúta. We will beat the governor in 2027.
You're so sure.
Very well then, but God said it wasn't time.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Years later, or decades later, Rawlins went somewhere to speak to students. Actually, I'm not sure were these students from Nigeria? I may be mistaken, but why do I think they were from Nigeria? Anyhow, he told them there was a general called Ado-Awaye Wellington. And he went around saying that I did this, that, and the other. So we sprayed him like mosquitoes. Can you imagine? If people knew who he really was, I don't think they'll be hailing him as a hero. Though I don't blame those outside Ghana because the news is filtered. But for those in Ghana, they have absolutely no excuse but cowardice. Cowardice and their own selfish interests prevent them from saying it exactly as it is.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
You want to be governor come 2027?
By God's grace.
Bolanle Sarumi.
Ọmọ di kaka di kuku, bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń di kaka lójú ogun. Ọmọ òkè bàbá òkúta. We will beat the governor in 2027.
You're so sure.
Very sure. The same way I was sure as well then, but God said it wasn't time.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
But I am not party to that.
Because I would like to see him.
If you see him, you will run away.
No, I don't.
Even the warrior, the clothes that he wore when he fought the battle, is at the family house. This gentleman that we will speak to later, the Arole or father-in-law himself, the Magaji or father-in-law himself, will tell you that if you look at the picture above there, you will see the warrior cloth himself. The one that he used in the battle over 150 years ago. That warrior, ordinary person cannot wear that cloth. So talk less of waking him up and then inviting him.
So nobody can wear it, you know.
Only the Arole of father-in-law can wear it.
Can wear it. And when he wears it, how does he feel?
Hey, if you last time when we did the Ibadan something, Ibadan day, that's the day you always wear that cloth. You will see people pouring gin or shinap on the body, and that shinap will not touch ground. No matter how much you pour on, the cloth will soak it up. It was not ordinary cloth. So that it was a fortified cloth.
It's still fortified.
It's still the fortification that has been done from the beginning is still on that cloth till today. It's not something anybody can just wear. That person will die.
Why?
Because it's a fortified cloth. There are some things that must be done before you can put that cloth on. It was a warrior cloth.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Now, this is some of the points I have been making. Why are we still fortifying the cloth till now? That if you wear it, you will die. Those are the issues I'm having. A fortified clothes, Oderinlaw wore. What did he use to fortify that clothes? Why can't we now turn it to science and that clothes will now manufacture many for our policemen instead of buying bulletproof from different parts of the world? Those are the issues I'm making. Now, they are keeping the clothes. Because I said I wanted to see it. They said Oderinlaw's grave was very close. I said, okay, let me go to the grave. Let me touch it. They said, no. You can't do that. We must kill hen. I said, okay, how much is the hen? I saw one big hen in the compound. I said, okay, I will pay for this hen. Let's kill the hen. Let me go in and see. As if I go in, I will die. Let me die, I die. I didn't go. I will go back. If there is power in that clothes, I hope the Arole is listening to me. What did he use? Why are we hiding it? Why is it that only the Arole will wear it? For how long will that be? If we fortified a close since 1840 and we have not improved on that fortification, we are still worshipping 1840 idea. There's something wrong with the way we think. Let's fortify more clothes so that we're not buying bulletproof jackets from America, from China. We have manufactured them long ago, or they not used it in the war. What was used to fortify the clothes that protected them in those wars? How do we scientify those ideas, put them into formula, so that it's not only the arole that we wear it, we will manufacture more. We will sell to Gambia, sell to Zimbabwe. They will not buy from China. We will make money. I saw Awolowo's grave. I didn't die. So why is Oderilo's grave still being hidden? Do you know how much we can attract to Oyo State by taking people to that gravesite and telling the story of Odenilo? Tourism. What are we worshipping the clothes for? For how long? The family of Odenilo should open up that place for tourism. We will not die. And if we have to die, go and defortify it. We don't want to be dying. You know, Odenilo was human, for God's sake. He was human, yes, special. He came during his time, he fought the war. After then, we've had generals. You know, when we talk about Odenilo today, all the major generals in the army, they represent those warriors of those times because they were the ones governing. So today we have generals. They are using weapons. So we still have warriors till now. I'm just thinking. I don't know what you are thinking. The Gideon Orkar Coup. Jack Adokiye telling the story of action. Subscribe to my YouTube channels. More stories are coming. There's somebody I'm looking for. I will find that person soon. And we will bring that story alive. Tolo Fari was one of the planners of the coup. He wrote a book, Exploitation and Instability in Nigeria. The Orkar Coup in Perspective. He's the only one that wrote a book. Colonel Inyam is still alive. I think I will speak with even Jack Adokiye. He should write a book on his experience, because most of the experiences of the coups in this country are as told by top military officers or researchers. You are now hearing a story from the soldiers that don't even know how the coups were planned, but somehow they will enlist them to execute the coup. The same thing Kaduna and Zogu did. When he marched out those soldiers that day, they didn't know they were going for a coup. The lines are open. Let's talk as we go. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Edmond.
Good morning.
Alaji Chief Sulaiman Oladepo Bolanle.
Baba is here.
Edmond, I laugh. I told you I know a lot of things. The last time you talked about this, the Orkar Coup, and Gideon Orkar Coup, I told you a lot of soldiers, innocent soldiers, were implicated and were executed. There has never been a coup that carried casualties than Orkar Coup, because that never happened. All the coups that happened before it, other ones were not deeply implicated. In fact, the other ones involved in the previous coup were not executed. They weren't executed. But this Orkar Coup, even the ones that had been charged, who were implicated, were all executed. You see, one thing made me happy, because those of them that were my friends, especially Umukoro, a complete gentleman, I so much love him. I was one paying him. We will sit humbly in my front, in my office. I was always endeared to him, but I thank God I didn't know even He told me to come and visit him in his father at Kenya. I had no time. Ado-Awaye was at we were together at Papa SIB, the investigator. That boy you interviewed this morning mentioned him. In fact, I was shocked that Ado-Awaye was involved. He said, all I know, I can't have time to talk about all I know. But I told you that all the soldiers in Lagos faced identification parade, including our commanders, everybody, no matter what your rank, from private to brigadier, all of us lined up before all those boys that were captured in that fishman, what's his name? Uboru's piece of all vehicles. They will stay inside, we march, we face them, we turn up, with command, we turn our back. When they say we don't know them, and they say, move away, the march us away from them. Then you say, thank my star. But you say, I know this one. That one is gone. Edmund, look, that Orkar Coup, and even the Gideon Orkar Coup will have been the turning point in the Nigerian issue, because those boys who perpetrated, in fact, you know that they mentioned that they are segregated in some parts of Nigeria. If they had been successful, Nigeria today would have been different too. Let me stop here. God bless you, Edmund.
Thank you, Chief Bolanle. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, that ordinary-law subject, fortification. I'm not just talking about the ordinary-law family. It's in different palaces, you hear fortification. What you need to go through before you can be an Oni. What you need to enter through before you can become an Alaafin. You know, the more we do this, the poorer we become. Perhaps we need to defortify a bit. Perhaps we need to do it. We need to defortify, because it seems to be placing obstacles on our way. I'm not talking about spiritual obstacle. It's affecting the way we think. Because these ideas have been there. I'm somebody that is interested in African culture and mystic, metaphysics. I'm interested. You know, when I see somebody practicing it, I want, tell me everything. And they don't tell me anything. Okay, take me into it. Let me learn from it. They don't want to take me into it. Huh? I don't mind. I'll go in. You want to take me in? Or fortify me and take me in? Yet they don't want to fortify me. I have asked for fortification. But anyway, I am fortifying myself in my own way. I operate at a very high level of fortification. So as I tell them, take me in, I also know I'm fortified. But my own fortification, it is not connected to any spiritual thing. Okay? Bosun, let's take this call. Bosun is here. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
The ball is in your court. Bosun, let's listen to that Nia Borishade's talk about ordinary-law's war jacket. That bulletproof he wore. That we even got before America. Yet we did not grow it. What happened?
But I am not party to that.
Because I would like to see him.
If you see him, you will run away.
No, I don't.
Even the warrior, the clothes that he wore when he fought the battle, is at the family house. This gentleman that we will speak to later, the Arole or father-in-law himself, the Magaji or father-in-law himself, will tell you that he if you look at the picture above there, you will see the warrior cloth himself. The one that he used in the battle over 150 years ago. That warrior, ordinary person cannot wear that cloth.
Well,
so talk less of waking him up and then inviting him.
So nobody can wear it, you know.
Only the Arole of father-in-law can wear it.
Can wear it.
And
when he wears it, how does he feel?
Hey, if you last time when we did the Ibadan something, But the day, that's the day you always wear that cloth. You will see people pouring gin or shinap on the body, and that shinap will not touch ground. No matter how much you pour on, the cloth will soak it up. It was not ordinary cloth.
So that
it was a fortified
it's
cloth.
still fortified.
It's still the fortification that has been done from the beginning is still on that cloth till today. It's not something anybody can just wear. That person will die.
Why?
Because it's a fortified cloth. There are some things that must be done before you can put that cloth on. It was a warrior cloth.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Every coup leaves scars, not just on the streets where bullets fall, but on the soul of the nation. Jack Adokiye's story reminds us that the culture of coup making is a culture of promises broken, of dreams deferred, of futures stolen. Let your leadership be just. Let your followership be bold. Together, build with patience. For nations are not made in a night, but in the faithfulness of many dawns. Nations are saved by conscience. Does power taken by force always consumes its bearer? Does power given by the people build nations? Who speaks? Is this the voice of the ancestors or the cry of a wounded mind? It is the future calling you. If you forget these lessons, you will return to the same past. But if you remember, you will work in justice. The story of Jack Adokiye is about conscience. It is about the power of choice and the danger of conspiracy. However, redemption is always near. I'm happy that you are in class today. There will be another class next week, Saturday, on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmondo Bilo. The next program is Ijobatiwa with Sheun Special. Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station.